Good evening, everybody, and welcome everybody to the Nasty Truth YouTube show. You've got your host, the most interesting man, Remi Marcus. I've got a special guest today. He's a fellow West Virginian and WVU alum. Sister schools. Fairmont State's my alumni, as you guys know, but still we're West Virginia sister schools alum. But today we're going to be talking about a charity he's involved. He's in the Nashville, Tennessee area as me. Christmas for Kids. They're actually having a bus tour coming up. It's going to be a big concert for the charity. I'm going to go ahead and let him explain it. Randy, it's always good to see you, man. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Good to be here.
Great. All right, so my first question will be, how long has this charity event, you got some big-time artists like Three Doors Down, some really interesting artists. How long has this event went on?
Well, Christmas for Kids actually began in 1992. Country music legend Conway Twitty actually started the organization.
Wow. Okay.
That year in 92, he and a few bus drivers decided they wanted to take a few underprivileged kids to Christmas shopping.
Okay.
So they had some bake sales, things like that, raised some money, and they got about 5 or 6 kids, found underprivileged kids, and decided to take them to a department store, gave them all a Christmas, they didn't have it. And so over the years, that has grown to where we now take 400 kids shopping for Christmas. Each kid will get $150 so that they can spend it on themselves and have a good Christmas. If we didn't do it, they wouldn't have a Christmas. So that's one of the reasons we kept it
very
going.
Nice. If you want to explain, and we can touch on it at the end too, but if you kind of want to explain, as for the concert, I think people understand that, but kind of before we go into the tour bus concert and that concept and kind of the breakdown of that, if you want to describe for my viewers that aren't as familiar, what exactly the kids will get to do the next day on December 12th, like their shopping experience. If you want to go ahead and explain that.
Well, one of the things that we do on a Tuesday morning, which is the 12th this year,
correct,
we will dispatch our tour buses that all the country music stars or rock stars, whoever they use to travel around the United States every year. We dispatch those out to participating schools, elementary schools. Our kids range from ages 7 until 11, and we will dispatch them out. They will pick them up, and we take them to, this year we're taking them to the Gallatin Civic Center in Gallatin in Tennessee. We will feed each one of them. We have an anonymous donor, country music artist that wants to remain anonymous. They actually pay for the food every year for the kids. So we feed them. We have a band there. We have cartoon characters that come in, Mr. and Mrs. Claus. So we have a big event for them. Then we load them up on the buses. And anywhere from 70 to 100 tour buses will go down Gallatin Road in Hendersonville and wind up at the Walmart store. And once they get there, we unload the kids, and we have about 500 to 600 volunteers that are waiting there to take the kids shopping, and then we load them back up and take them back to their school where their parents can.
That is a lot of volunteers. So
a lot of volunteers.
Yeah, so it's my understanding, and that's great what you guys are doing. That's amazing. I didn't know you guys had that many volunteers. So now it's my understanding that Three Doors Down, this is about the 3rd year they'll be attending.
It is. What we do the Monday night before we take the kids shopping, we have our annual bus tour.
Right.
So
explain that a little bit.
Well, what we do is we try to we take the buses that we get, the tour buses. We'll have a Monday night anywhere from 50 to probably 70 buses there in the Walmart store parking lot in Hendersonville. We will we schedule different country music artists, rock music artists, and television personalities. They come and they sit on a bus. People pay $5 to get in. And
that's a donation. Remember
donation
that,
of
not necessarily a mission. So if you want to donate more than $5, I'm sure Randy and the rest of his board of directors
we'll tell you how to do that a little bit later. But they pay $5 to get in. They tour around the buses and stand in line for whatever artists they want to see. Every year we bring in a lot of up-and-coming artists as well. This year, some of the bigger artists we're having is Three Doors Down.
That's huge.
We're having 38 Special.
Yeah, 38 Special.
We're having, from the TV hit show Dallas, we're having Charlene Tilton, who played Lucy.
Wow.
We're also having Macy Stella, who's currently starring on ABC, well, it's CMT now, it was ABC, CMT show Nashville. She'll be
I've heard about
attending.
this show.
So we have Lori Morgan going to be with us. Some
Okay.
old school people like Shelley West, Jan Howard, T.G. Shepard, Kelly Lang. So a lot of
where's Kelly Lang from?
they're all from Hendersonville.
Okay, Nashville area.
They're all members of the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh wow!
So
that's
they're going to be
impressive.
there. But we also have a lot of up and coming artists, and we've done this so many years. One year we had this young girl there. Nobody really knew who she was. She was just an up and coming artist.
All right.
People stood in line and got her autograph at that time.
Okay.
And a few years later, she became somewhat popular. Her name is Taylor Swift.
You had really?
We had
What year
Taylor.
did Taylor Swift come?
We also had a guy who was trying to make it in country music, and he came to Christmas for Kids several years in a row, and now he's pretty big. His name's Chris Young.
Chris, yeah, I've heard of
He's
him.
been there, so you never know who you're going to meet.
What year did Taylor Swift come?
Taylor Swift, that was probably, I don't know the exact year, but probably about, it may have been about 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay. All right. So everybody, if you're in the
never know.
Nashville area, I encourage you to come down December 11th. Next year we'll make sure this is earlier before press time, but this year, we kind of just wanted to make sure we got some promo and advertising out.
Now the bus tour starts at 5 o'clock.
Okay, 5 p.m.
5
everybody.
p.m. this coming Monday, December the 11th. It will end at 9 p.m.
Okay.
unless there are a lot of people in line. And
All
a
right.
lot of the artists will stay until all of the people who want an autograph
Okay.
can get an autograph.
Okay. All right. So you've kind of already touched base with the shopping tour. We went over kind of the lineup and the time for everybody. Yeah, I just want to reiterate that that's going to be December 12th, Monday, from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Hendersonville Walmart. And as Randy can touch on real briefly, if he'd like to, it will be in the parking lot. But can you kind of explain that whole concept of, because that's, I know it's the winter, I know it's not as cold, we're in the South, I get it, but kind of that whole concept of an outdoor show, and what kind of maybe brought you guys to that conclusion that instead of doing just your traditional indoor show, you decided to do it outdoor?
Well, one of the things that we've done, and as this was started by Conway Twitty and some bus drivers,
Okay.
we really wanted to include the bus drivers because they are actually the people who we credit with getting us a lot of these country music stars. They drive them all year long.
Right.
Without them, we could not do this event. They are so
Very
vitally
true.
important, and we're so appreciative of what they do. But the bus drivers, we're coming in off the weekend. They take and get their buses cleaned up and decorated on Monday morning. They show up about Monday afternoon
All right.
through a Monday evening, and they're all decorated. And we put them in a big box. If you can imagine the bus is parked in a big box.
Yeah, like a square almost.
Right, and then we put
rectangle,
we
you
put the other buses like in the center.
That's cool.
So everywhere you go, there's a different bus, and you get to see
Okay.
how these stars travel. Some
Right.
of them are like what they call pop-outs. So they expand and make like this huge bus. In fact,
okay.
John Sienna, his bus was there last year.
John Cena.
From the wrestler.
John Cena.
Cena, that's his
Yeah,
name.
and you guys know, especially people that are close to me, know I'm kind of a wrestling fan. So if John Cena comes to Nashville and attends, you know
He's
it's
in
big.
his bus last year. He didn't show up, but he's in his bus.
He was hanging out. So he was with another artist or just in his own bus?
No, he actually didn't show up personally. He just said, "Hey, here's my bus. If y'all want to use it." So brought it in,
okay.
and we just
That's
allowed
very
people
nice.
to tour his bus.
Yeah, and some of you may have saw the pictures, but around the time I was in college, it was about a year before I graduated, but I slapped Cena's hand at a wrestling show in Wheeling, West Virginia, where I'm from. He
He's
gave
a
us
big
a
guy.
hug. Oh, he's a huge guy. But
Big guy.
Another tidbit, and I'm sure Randy knows, but Cena, every time he comes to West Virginia, whether he's in Wheeling or Charleston, he sings Country Roads. Now,
Yeah, great song.
Yeah, CM Punk is our state song. Yeah, CM Punk is kind of did it with him. There was a new recently there was a new wrestler. Name slipped me. I don't think it was The Miz, and I encourage you guys to Google it or check on YouTube because I did see it on YouTube. He did Country Roads. So, but yes,
Love that song.
Yeah, it's a great song. I think we all do, especially if you're from wild and wonderful West Virginia.
In fact, speaking of West Virginia, this year we're having an up-and-coming band from West Virginia called Adair's Run.
Yes,
They're from the
Adair's Run.
southern part of West Virginia. They're really starting to get noticed now in Nashville. A lot of people, in fact, they just headlined the Nashville Parade.
Wow, that's big. So Adair's Run, I would definitely Google them as well. And we're going to bring you part 2 here in 1 second.